Science is not going to go away. The scientific community of tomorrow is likely to be just as confident of evolution as they are today. The only question is, will the masses be allowed to be educated to the facts concerning evolution, or will theists continue their successful campaign to block science education in public schools? I wish I could say it is only a matter of time before the public wakes up and demands quality education. Truthfully, I'm very pessimistic that that will happen under our present educational system. If it doesn't, monotheism is going to be with us for quite a long while. In large part, the science curriculum of our public schools is not decided either by the academic or the scientific community. The process of controlling what is taught in public schools works something like this. Fundamentalists utilize every venue and media opportunity possible to prejudice the religious masses to be hostile to what science teaches. Fundamentalists enter candidates into the political arena to acquire seats on local school boards. These boards will decide textbook content and class curriculum. Fundamentalists get out the religious vote. The misinformed masses elect the fundamentalists to their local school board. With fundamentalists on the school board, pressure is brought to bear to ensure that religion encroaches into every classroom. Comprehensive instruction about evolution is either banned or suppressed. History and science classes are polluted with biblical mythology. Comprehensive sex education is replaced with abstinence-only dogma. The school board is no longer capable of ensuring a quality education in public schools. Over the course of history, humanity has done many evil things to itself. Monotheistic creationism has the appeal to mobilize the masses in support of many anti-human agendas. And the dumbing down of public education is just one of those anti-human agendas. What is taught in our public schools is in reality dictated by popular vote of the misinformed masses and not by the scientific community or the academic community. As long as this system continues, I see no real hope for quality education in the United States of America. As a Pentecostal preacher, I thought I had a monopoly on the truth. I believed the Bible was the infallible Word of God. I believed that if the Bible said it, God said it, and that settled it. I believed Jesus was an infallible source of truth. In every sense of the word, I was a warrior for Christ. I believed I had found the truth, and having found the truth, there was no reason to continue the search for it. For a long time, I didn't. In fact, I was hostile to objective consideration of any idea contrary to my faith. One must never underestimate the role of agendas in confounding enlightenment. But troubling questions kept raising their ugly head, and I handled these questions with apologetic flim-flam rationalizations. I had no choice in the matter. It was the only way I could defend my faith. By skillfully employing apologetic flim-flam, I was able to miraculously transform fantasy into reality, and while at the same time transform scientific reality into fantasy. I was not being honest with those who had questions, and I was not being honest with myself either. The ethical issues associated with using apologetic flim-flam troubled me as much as the questions I could not reasonably answer. Now, let's take a moment and discuss the apologetic flim-flammer. I do not use this term maliciously as an ad hominem attack. I use this term to let you know that not all sources of information are honest, and I use this term to let you know that agendas can get into the way of truth. I want the definition of a flim-flammer to be very clear. A flim-flammer is one who knowingly and willfully employs subversion of information, omission of information, outright lies, demagoguery, and simplistic analysis, an attempt to manipulate the thought processes of others with the ultimate goal of controlling their conclusions. And now we know that all of us know that such people exist in every venue on this planet. And that's not to claim with any certainty that any specific person here today is a flim-flammer. However, I am implying that apologetic flim-flam is often used to prop up agendas that lack credibility. And this might be used here today. And in all fairness, it is quite possible that I might be the person that uses it. Of course, I will argue that that is not the case. But can you believe me just because I deny it? No, you cannot. You're going to have to listen to every word everybody says today very carefully. Everyone knows that the speakers here today want to influence the thought processes of the audience and their conclusions. That's fine. But are any willing to subvert information, omit information, tell outright lies, use demagoguery or simplistic analysis in order to get the job done? Well, determining if flim-flam is used or not, or by whom, that's your challenge, not mine. When I was a Pentecostal preacher, without any doubt whatsoever, I was an apologetic flim-flammer, and I admit that to you. One day, I resolved to cut out the flim-flam, and I vowed to answer the questions honestly. I wanted to know the real truth. I wanted to champion it, and I realized I had to be true to myself first. If monotheism is truth, it would have to stand on its own merits and not upon my skills as an apologetic flim-flammer. The result of that commitment is standing, or sitting in this case, here before you now. I'm proud to be an atheist and a humanist. I do not have a belief in any God, nor do I have a belief that no God exists. I do not know if a God exists. Yes, I am confident that the Judeo-Islamic Christian God does not exist. I am not an infallible source of truth, nor do I claim to be. And science is not an infallible source of truth, nor does it claim to be. One might argue that reality might be an infallible source of truth, but unfortunately our perception of reality is skewed because of our agendas, biases, and ignorance. From a practical standpoint, I have come to understand that there is no infallible source we can rely upon to spoon feed us truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Consequently, we must use our heads for something other than a hat rack. I have confidence in science and the scientific community. I have critically challenged the scientific method. I have tried to find flaws in it, all to no avail. I continually ask critics the question, what's wrong with the scientific method? Oh, I get answers, but I never get a reasonable answer. I'm not here to spoon feed you truth. I have no expectation that you should allow me to spoon feed you truth. If you were to allow me to spoon feed you, I will think you gullible. Spoon feeding is a term I use to describe a process whereby people suck up ideas without scrutinizing the agenda of the source or the quality of the content. My critics would like to argue that I have allowed the scientific community to spoon feed me. But I have scrutinized the scientific method, the scientific community, and scientific theory. I have no expectation that any are infallible, but I am satisfied that all are worthy of my conditional confidence. I am here to offer you ideas for consideration. I have every hope